POS show yo. Yo, it's POS with Pat and Bobby. News so wild it's never sloppy. Talk the truth, don't make it snobby. Who's the POS? We getting choppy. POS show yo.
I like the part. The more I hear that song, the the favorite.
It does feel like
they... Bobby. I forgot the next word. I just had a nice soda. Open your mouth and say,
It does feel like there was another word where they cut off the first 5 letters of it.
No. That's not how we start our Thursdays with the N-word. That is not how we do this show today.
I'm just saying.
We do not show our show with the N-word, and we will not start that show any other day. N-word. I think I just said the N-word. I shouldn't have said the N-word. Maybe I should say that F-word. Now I'll go with the C word. What are the words? What are the ones you can't say? Like when people say there's something word. So there's the N, there's the C, there's the F, there's the R. That's it, right?
I feel like there might be 2 Fs now. Like I feel like I hear more often people having to clarify.
What's the second F?
Rhymes with truck.
Oh no. I mean, people say, F word, you know your meaning, but when you say you can't say the F word as in saying something, everyone knows it's gay.
Okay. I see what you're saying now.
I know.
I still use that.
Because you could also be like, the S word or the word for butts. No, I mean like when someone's afraid. Like most people be like, I can't say the fucking F word. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
That fucking N-word's being a real C. Like, you can say that.
Like the old Mulaney joke where he's like, you know how I know you're allowed to say midget, but you can't say the N-word? We'll say midget.
Yeah. I think I've told the story, but my buddy who used to do comedy, Jerry Woolley, we were doing a contest at Catch a Rising Star in Providence, Rhode Island area, like years ago. And it was like this stupid, when we first just started, it was a bringer kind of. If you wanted to win, you had brought people, but if you didn't bring people, you could still be in it. But like you weren't gonna win. So they had all these rules at the beginning, and this fucking guy, and I forget his name. He's a big fat piece of shit. He's the guy kind of ran it, and he's just an asshole and fucking shisty and all that. And I think it was Frank O'Donnell, I believe his name was. Big fat piece of shit. And he pulled us aside before the shows, and he's like, "Listen, here's the rules." And he would tell all the time, "Can't say the N-word." I'm like, all right. And no, the first he said, "You can't say the C word." And my friend Jerry goes, "Which one?" He's like, "What?" He goes, "Which one?" He's like, "What do you mean, which one? There's only one." He goes, "What do you mean there's only one? There's 2. And he goes, "What do you think?" He goes, "Well, can I say it so I can tell if I'm thinking of a different one?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "Cunt." And he goes, "Yeah, that's the C word." He goes, "Oh, I thought you meant cock." And he's like, "Well, I also don't want you to say cock. See, there's 2. And then he goes, "All right, anyway, so no C words." He goes, "Okay, fine." And he goes, "No N words." And Jerry goes, "Which one?"
You should have won the contest on that alone.
Oh, I thought so. It was the best. And that's like, there was a guy who did that contest like years later. This guy Sean, I want to say Donald or something like that, and he wasn't gonna win. He's a very funny comic, but he wasn't gonna win because somebody brought like half the audience. You know what I mean? So he goes up, he does his 5 minutes, kills it, and at the end just goes, "N-word cunt. Good night."
God love him.
So how are you, sir, on this fine Thursday?
I'm doing all right, buddy. How about you?
I'm doing as good as Terry Neeby in English. Hello, loves. Hello, governor.
Welcome back, Terry. We missed you.
Did we?
I did.
Okay. Then we did.
Collective we. Oh, man. Lots of crazy stuff in the news today, huh?
What? Is that a segue?
No,
Lots of
no.
wacky stuff happening in this world, huh, partner?
I mean, we could do it as a segue. I just meant like Musk is threatening to pull all of his money off the stock market. Warren
didn't know
Buffett's
that.
threatening to do the same.
I
The
didn't
guy
know
who
that.
bet against the housing market said it's all going to collapse regardless of who gets elected.
Who's that guy? Who bets against the house?
It was some super autistic dude, and played by Steve Carell in the movie. But like he just picked up trends and realized it was all paper thin and made billions while everybody else lost money.
Hello, it is me, super autistic dude. Dun, 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 dun,
Hang on, the dun 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 was off. We got to do it again. It
dun,
is.
dun, dun, dun,
Fuck! I fucked it up again. One more time.
dun, 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 dun. What's the worst of those things, the OCD things? What do you think is the worst one you've heard of? Like, either I have to knock 6 times when walking through rooms, or like I have to like touch a doorknob, then touch my pants, touch a doorknob. What's the one where you'd be like, I gotta throw myself off a cliff?
Probably if I threw myself off a cliff and I had to do it.
And
the
you
right
do it
way
again?
every
You
time.
do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
right?
No, I didn't do it well.
Cliff. Oh. I would never throw myself off a cliff because what if you don't die? Then you're just dumb.
Yeah.
Blaze,
like,
what's going on, man? Did Blaze get roasted?
I don't think he did.
Oh,
You
he
weren't
said
calling-
hello, fellas, and I think he probably took Terry's thing. No, you're good.
No, welcome.
Unless he's
aboard, Blaze.
autistic.
He's not super autistic though, although he is probably betting against the stock market.
Oh, or I thought he was Steve Carell.
Not to be confused with Steve Cohen, also super autistic.
All right, well, real quick, back to my thing before we get to this breaking news. I think my breaking news is better. Out of those 4 words, the RNCF, rank them from no to yeah. So the one you will not say. What's the worst thing you could hear of one of those words, and then going that way? So you start the first number 1 is the worst.
Okay, so for me, number 1 is the N.
I agree with you. The end. So now we're at FCR.
I say all of them.
Right.
Like on a regular basis.
Okay, but let's put it this way. Okay, so now you're in a situation where you're not trying to impress someone, but someone there could either be like, you're talking like you, but there's like a booker of a show or a pretty lady or somebody you just kind of have respect for, or someone stranger you don't really know. But one of those words comes up. Or no, better, they say it. You're trying to do business with them. Not dating where you're like, that turns me on when you say the R word. Hopefully she says it in bed. But you know what I mean? Where one that they say where you're like, I don't know if I can work with this person if they're freely doing that.
Probably the C word would be next then. As far as what I find offensive, the next one in line for me would be the R word if you're using it to describe R people. Like they can't.
What about you're describing
themselves.
F people?
But they like the R word's the only way they were born that way. They can't like if you're acting like a
excuse
cunt,
me, Bobby.
you could stop
Excuse
being a
me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Homos were born that way. That's
Right.
the rules. They didn't make them in the lab.
Right, but they were born that way, but they don't have to act like Fs. They could just be gay.
Well, I think what's up, Stormy? I don't think the R words have to act like R words either. They step it up. I'm a little tired of it.
They're trying their best, Pat. That's the only one you could say that.
Are
for.
they?
The other groups
are
are
they?
not.
Because I think they have a very easy way out. A gay has to really try to not be gay, but an R doesn't even try. And if he tried a little, it could be a little less R.
Yeah, but there are groups like that. Like, have you seen the guy who gives philosophy where he's like, don't ever let somebody put you down, or don't put yourself down because who's gonna bring you up? And everybody's like, oh man,
Rick Astley.
No, he was gonna never give you up.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of an F thing to say.
See, I'm flipped with you because, yes, and is number 1. I think it's the only one out of those 4 that only comes out of hate. I know people try to take it back, but it's the only one. Everyone else has another definition or at least something else there that can kind of justify the word existing. But the N word was just made because some guy was like, I got to call him something.
Born out of hate. Yeah.
They're really making me mad. I gotta say something that sounds like the harshest thing ever. It's like, but I think cunt is last on that list for me. Now I know it offends a lot of people, but it's not a person. It's a thing you can call someone. There's not like retarded people are retarded, like you said. Whether they they can't help it. It's a thing that should we have a harsh word for them? I don't know who decides what word is the okay one and what isn't. That's a weird poll. Like, did they ask, like 100 retards were asked if they like this word, and 98 of them went and 2 said okay. It's like, so like I don't know who looks at the words and goes, that's the bad one. Why is the N word the bad one? But then like colored is not as bad, but it's still bad. Like it's all like how you take it in. But
absolutely, my favorite's the R word. Though, because like literally it started as you would call them the town idiot. People were like, whoa, you can't just be like idiots. That's offensive. So then they called them morons. They're like, well, calling everybody a moron's kind of, and then it literally
Mongoloid.
Mongoloid was on there, and then we landed on the big R.
Remember you get the cartoons with the dunce cap on?
Which is just offensive. Why are we drawing more attention to the size of their head?
But dude, when you call someone a dunce and you put a cap on their head and make them sit in the corner, it's fucking cruel.
Or they learn their lesson.
So I go N, F, R. Yeah, because F is becomes so much more hatred. R is just rude, and it's more ignorant. It's not really out of hate. There's not a people. No one hates retarded people. There isn't like anti-tard. You know what I mean? Like there aren't people anti-tardisms. They're not out there. So you're not. So you're saying it, and it's disrespectful, and it's like you want to defend it because they can't defend themselves. But fag is becoming N-word like in the hatred of it, the way it's used. You know what I mean? But they've had to take it back. So to me, NFRC.
Whoa, ain't that something? Didn't see that coming.
NFRC.
NF. Whoa, hold up. Didn't see that coming.
Let's bring in our guest here. Maybe he can weigh in.
Hey guys,
what's up, dude? What's going on, man?
Man, I am so excited. I'm so fucking. I do lives all the time. I do all my I'm so nervous, Pat Oates, man. You don't understand. I know I kiss your ass all the time, but I mean it. I'm not just doing it. You're the funniest fucking guy.
Thanks, brother. I don't know if you just paid attention, but we were ranking the N word, the F word, the R word, and the C word from worst to least offensive in your mind. So you go ahead, rank them.
From least or most?
No, the number one is like the one that if you heard someone say like I'm not dealing with this guy, or if you said it, you'd feel bad about yourself, and then into like it's not as bad.
I got to go number one N word. I mean, I feel
like all three of us are agree. It's a good, even though we're three white guys who look like we love it. It's okay. We don't.
Exactly.
It's first ballot Hall of Fame.
It's not the Hall of
Fame. It's the Mount Rushmore of words.
It really is. You can't. That's a word we can't use. I've never been able to use it out in public. I shouldn't want to use it out in public.
In public.
I mean, anywhere. What am I doing? I'm blowing this already.
You're
I'm
doing
only
great,
5 seconds, Pat. I'm sorry.
What's next?
Around you. Number two has got to be. It's got to be the F word to me too. It has to be. I mean. I know when I was growing up, those words didn't mean what they mean now. And sometimes like it's weird hearing these younger people like attack us just for the age we are, saying you guys thought that was okay. And I'm like, it was okay, right? It was one of those things we didn't mean it to be derogatory. It was something you'd bust your friend's balls. You would say something, someone would say it to you.
See, I say to those people, it's still okay now. You're just being a fag about it.
that's what it is, though, right? That's what's going on. I'm sorry, I missed the other ones.
R and C.
Okay, no, I think R has to be number 3. Also a word though that I was called a million times by my father growing up. My brothers, back and forth. Exactly. Doctors always clearly there's a lot wrong with this guy here. I think I go
case of the retardeds.
I got the same rankings you guys got.
No, Bobby went differently. Bobby didn't go with the same as us.
I went NRCF, but I will say I know that you got. Now that you make that point, it is true. Like if I'm on stage, and I say the F word, it'll suck the wind out of a room. right away, more than
Yeah.
the C word or even the R word.
Yeah, but retard done well brings them back. You know what I mean?
That's why I like to say FR then C.
I mean, last time I saw Dice, he's not using those words like he used to, right? Which was weird to me to see him like have to hold back a little bit.
Well, I think he just forgot how to rhyme.
Is that what it is?
That's all.
That's all anyone wants to hear.
Hickory
too.
dickory dock. Ah, what's that word that rhymes with it? God damn it.
Yeah, he. I mean, I still love it. It was awesome to go see him, but like, dude, that's all I want to hear is the nursery rhymes. Like, he was just on that other thing in Madison Square Garden, and people were pissed he didn't do them the first night, right?
Right. Yeah.
They just want to hear it.
No,
But I get that, though.
nursery rhymes.
No nursery rhymes.
But he wants to get away from it. I mean, for him, that's 40-something years ago. I mean,
know.
if someone asked you to do something 20-something years ago that you used to do, it's like, I don't want to be that. That's not who I am anymore.
True.
Speak for yourself, buddy. I wish I had material 40 years later. People were like, tell that one again. Don't think of anything new. I just want to hear the classics.
I mean, they make me whenever I go out because I got to yell fucking Slayers at the top of my lungs at like metal concerts and stuff. And it's just like, I enjoy it right now, though, right? I haven't been doing it for years and years, but it's something I like to just belt them out and just get people, they get amped up, they get psyched about it. But I could see as time went by.
Well, because you enjoy doing it still.
True.
But now it has to become this thing where it's almost like a joke within itself. And Dice, for a while, kind of became a caricature.
True.
And now it becomes just nostalgic. They're not liking the joke because comics look at it as like, oh, that's hack now. It wasn't. It was unique when he did it. But I mean, all unique things become the guys who we think are hacks back in the day were unique then. But it just everyone else repeated what they did so much, and it got so blown out. They don't want to do it. So he kind of was like, hey, I'm more than that one trick pony. He's not. Yeah. I mean, it's he isn't. He found sometimes we just find that one groove. Sometimes one hit wonder isn't a bad thing. You were a wonder. There's nothing wrong with that. And Kinnison, if he was alive today, would definitely be doing other things besides screaming. You can't do that forever. Bobcat stopped doing the stupid voice. There's times where you got to fucking move away from that shit.
It's true, but like like you said, when that voice came out, I thought it was great as a kid. Like Police Academy, One Crazy Summer. Like I was like, this guy's fucking awesome. But as time went on, I started getting annoyed by it. I was just like,
when he started being in TV shows and movies, and you're like, this can't. You can't just keep doing this
forever.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, true.
Why are you starring as the comedic character you invented in this movie?
Instead
of just being a new person.
What was that one where he was a fucking horse? Or no, someone was a horse. He was the lead in it. Was it John Candy was a horse? It was some 80s movie.
Fuck. I know the movie you're talking about. I don't think it was anyone as good as John Candy was in it.
I can't. Whoever played the horse's voice.
Right. And then he was also in that TV show with he was like a puppet thing, and Nikki Cox, she had the big tits, and there was like a fake Married with Children thing.
Married with Children.
He was banging her at the time, but he was like a weird puppet.
Yeah, I remember that. That was fucking. That was so obvious a ripoff, though. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, that was smart. We've talked about this on here before. Back then, if somebody found a formula, the other networks would say, "Okay, let's try to do it." And the greatest example is NBC having Gary Coleman, and then ABC searching for another dying black person with kidney failure and finding another midget that has that and giving him a show. And CBS pissed because there's not a third one that can memorize lines.
That's fucking true. And I mean, if it's gonna make you money, right? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but imagine that, like, you're a good actor, you're shorter, you can do everything. They're like, well, how's your kidneys? Well, they're fine. Well, get the fuck out of here. We need kidney failure.
Yeah, it's true. It's a fucking different times, man.
Now, man, I don't know if you know our podcast, but what we do here is Bobby and I will each take turns reading a story that's in the news. We don't go really political and stuff like that. Okay. We read it first, and then we suggest who you think the piece of shit is in the story. You can choose one of the ones we say and then do what you want, or you can choose your own piece of shit. You can choose us for fucking reading the story. So we're going to go back and forth and doing that. We'll kick it to you when it's your time to chime in with your 2 cents. Cool?
That sounds great. Can I say Stuttering John every fucking time? Because that guy is the ultimate piece of shit.
Every fucking time.
All right.
But then remember that one day he may just decide that you're gay.
True. And he may show up at my house. Which I would.
Yeah, but you won't be there when he does. I will be, don't worry about it.
I'll be on vacation.
Bobby, you want to lead off, or you want me
to? Sure. I'd be happy to.
All right.
This story comes out to us from Arnassus, Texas, I believe it is. It's Arkansas without a K. And the title of the story is Fat fucking crybaby police chief Blanchard gets more just dessert than even he can handle.
Wait, that's the headline? Where'd you get that? Fat fucking crybaby?
Yeah. Well, what happens in this story, not to give too many spoilers, but basically there was a guy speaking at a town hall against the police chief and used swear words, so they arrested him. And that's why I think the author of this story chose Fat Fucking Crybaby.
Decided to go double down. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Chief Eric Blanchard, a man whose physique is better suited for rolling than running, has been at the helm of an Arkansas Pass law. Has been at the helm of Arkansas Pass law enforcement since 2012. During that time, he's cultivated, in addition to his reputation for fucking up a buffet, he's developed a reputation for sitting on his hands rather than upholding citizens' rights. This came to a head when Jason Followell, a regular attendee of city council meetings and a local business owner, took issue with the administration's practices. Now, Followell isn't just some guy yelling from the back. He's the kind of thorn in Blanchard's side that just won't go away, kind of like Blanchard's addiction to junk food. At a January 2024 city council meeting, Followell had enough of what he saw as corruption and decided to air his grievances, verbally dunking on the police chief in full view of the public. And let's be real, Blanchard, who probably needs to take a breather after standing for more than 5 minutes, didn't appreciate being called out, especially by the local gym owner who, based on appearance alone, Blanchard felt a vendetta to stop. He could have addressed the criticism in a dignified manner, but no, this man who clearly believes the best way to handle a critic is to haul him out like last night's pizza boxes. So what did Blanchard do? Well, after Followell's initial statement contained what was deemed offensive unilaterally by the tubby tyrant, Followell was placed under arrest and removed from the meeting in clear violation of his First Amendment twice, once for free speech and the second for the right to assemble. Following that dramatic scene, civil rights attorney C.J. Grisham took to the podium to point out the clear violation of the Constitution before also being arrested by the lardy loser. As he was using any ounce of athleticism left in his body to drag Grisham out, Blanchard literally ordered Followell and his lawyer to stop talking and just sue him. Imagine that. A guy who probably breaks into a sweat just bending down to tie his shoes had the audacity to challenge an attorney to a lawsuit. You've got to admire that level of commitment to both bad decisions and saturated fats. Well, this is where the story gets even juicier. Juicy like the double cheeseburger Blanchard probably had right before the meeting.
Dude, this article is insane.
In March 2024, Followell took Blanchard's advice and sued him. The lawsuit claims that Blanchard, along with other city officials, violated Followell's First Amendment rights by booting him from the council meeting for using some salty language. The nerve. Blanchard seemed more focused on enforcing decorum than doing his actual job, probably because doing his actual job requires moving faster than a slow shuffle. So who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Police Chief Blanchard? He was enforcing strict mandates, writing false tickets against Followell. Followell called him out at a town hall meeting, and he arrested him for using foul language. Is it the attorney who was sitting there and went, wait a second, this is a violation of the Constitution, and then also got arrested? Or is it the attorney who then, after getting arrested and being told, just sue me next time, showed up to the next city town hall meeting and served everybody for his 3 minutes? Pat, we'll throw it to you first. Who's your piece of shit?
Well, I don't believe this is a real article. I believe someone pulled you over, Bobby, and you are the guy you're pretending, and you got pulled over by a fat cop, because this is hateful. Like, every 3 sentences, you were like, tubby loser, fat piece of shit, can't move. He rolls more than he walks. And I was doing the math in my head. The name of the guy, the Jerry, whatever, the guy who got in trouble, Followell.
Yeah.
Right. His letters are the same amount of letters as Bobby Tamburo in the letters of his name. And I feel like that you just faked your name in that, and you got pulled over by a fat piece of shit, and you're mad that he wrote you a ticket, so you decide to use his name and slander him. So I don't think this is real, because I can't imagine how this cop would not arrest this man writing the article. If he's going to get someone mad at somebody for swearing at a town hall, he's going to drive to this author's house and give him the electric chair for saying all those mean things about his fat ass.
I do see the point you're making, and this would
Okay.
be not out of the realm of possibility of something that I would make up. However, this is 100% true. The video's been going around kind of viral.
The
of him
article can't
serving
be
all the
true.
people.
You took license with the article.
You know, I'm not sure what you're referring to there. I will say that the original video that I saw this article on does list the police chief's phone number and his address if you guys want to call him and, you know, make pig noises or just curse at a guy.
I don't think that's in our best interest.
We're not going to now. No, I'm saying for the people at home watching.
Because what if he gets
forward
turned
after
on?
He probably will.
He's
I would
like,
imagine-
oh, good, sex.
Being that large, being degraded is the only thing he finds erotic.
All right, still you.
It is me. I'm not a fan. MetalHorrorMadman, who's your piece of shit?
I got to go the attorney because I'm fucking sick of everybody suing everybody, fucking serve my fucking jock, asshole. Like if a guy like that comes in serving everybody, rip the fucking thing up. The cop, I've had weight issues up and down. You know what I mean? I got to defend the fucking cop here. That article's psychotic. They all sound like pieces of shit, but attorneys are the biggest pieces of shit. Hence ones that I've seen in different universes as well. So I'm going attorney.
Yeah, but isn't the attorney's fault? Like Bobby, I always go with, it can't be the drug dealer. It's got to be the person that wants the drugs. Like the attorney only gets to do work because people go to them and give them money and say sue. If no one ever says they want to sue, then an attorney can't sue anybody. So it's really the person that's going to the attorney and saying, hey, go ruin this person's life. And he's like, all right, that's what I do. Like a crack dealer can have all the crack in the world. If no one goes and buys the crack, then he can't hurt anybody.
I do see what both of you guys are saying, and normally I'd agree it's the attorney, and I would have the police chief's back. In this instance, though, he literally said, stop talking and sue me. And the guy was like, all right, game, bet. All right, then bet. And I kind of agree. For me, the biggest piece of shit in this story, as much as I think Blanchard and guys like that give cops a bad name, like when people look for an example of a bad apple, this is what they're going to find. You know what I mean? I saw this
Terry's
video.
saying that the video that you saw, he saw too, and it feels like professional wrestling.
It does. It's that over the top. Like it's not acting, but it's like that level of corniness, we could say. But for me, it's the mayor. You're running a town hall meeting where one guy's speaking, a cop's getting up and forcibly removing somebody. You go, everybody shut up. If we just give this man 5 minutes to air his grievances, let him say whatever he wants, problem solved. He feels better. Police Blanchard, you're not dealing with the scrutiny or the skepticism from people, and just like run a meeting the right way. We're supposed to be allowed to talk as Americans. It's the First Amendment, right? Like that's the biggest one. And so let the guy talk. He's not fighting anybody. He's not doing anything. All he can do is talk. And if you're scared of somebody sharing an opinion, the only reason why is you're worried they might be right. The minute you try to silence speech, the big fear is that this guy might make sense.
What's up, Scottzilla? What's going on, man? Jumping in. Yeah, I don't think it matters that he's fat, though.
No, not at all.
That was 90% of the article, and it just he was a mean man, but he could be thin and still an ass. The fat. The second they just kept doubling down on his doubling, you know what I mean? It was just like a lot.
I think just like he eats, but I think
So you wrote this article. You see how you just easily did that? The second there was a word, you wrote this.
No, the reason I didn't actually write this one. I found several sources.
What's his name? Pablo did?
Maybe. But
You're
the reason why I think
guy.
it brought it up was he kept like finding this guy for how he was running his gym. And so a lot of the articles were like, if you're going to criticize a guy for having a gym open, like maybe look like you've gone once in a blue moon. You don't have to be ripped, but it's going to just not be nice. You know, it could be
Terry's
Obama.
thanking
Good
Obama
point,
again.
Terry.
Yeah.
You know who Obama was tight with? P. Diddy. Well, you should have done that. Then Obama could have been the piece of shit.
They were tight?
Yeah. Diddy
I mean,
was like one of his biggest.
I don't think they were tight.
Diddy was like one of his biggest campaign donors, allegedly.
Yeah, but you can be a donor and not be friends.
I guess
He wasn't part of
love
the
just
Combs
changed.
Enterprises
How do we know?
because they named the people.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good point.
All right. A CIA predator who sexually abused unconscious women across multiple countries, keeping 500 pics and videos of horrid acts, sentenced to 30 years in jail. A disgraced CIA officer who drugged and sexually abused numerous women in multiple countries over 14 years and was found with over 500 disturbing images and videos of his victims was sentenced to 3 decades behind bars. Brian Jeffrey Raymond, 48, was slapped with a 30-year sentence on Wednesday after pleading guilty in November to 4 of 25 counts. I like that. He's like, yeah, 4 of those I did. 21? I don't know. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was someone else, including sexual abuse, abuse of sexual contact. I'm not sure what the difference is. Coercion and enticement, and transportation of obscene material. I like that. And I also drove nudie magazines to my friend Bob's house. And I want you guys to know I'm not guilty of that. Bob ordered them through Uber in a box and they didn't know.
I didn't know what was in the box. How was I supposed to know it was my own photographs?
And inside was a magazine called Box, which was even crazier. And I was like, that's appropriate. He also admitted to drugging.
Look, Your Honor, I think we need to start thinking outside of the box, okay?
And that's where they keep me. That's why I had to drug them. I was always outside of the box, and I wanted to get in the box. And everyone's saying, think outside the box, but I'm thinking about getting in the box, Your Honor.
Who wrote that slogan? One of those Fs we're not allowed to talk about?
Yeah, I think it's somebody who hates box. One of those real asshole lovers, you know what I'm saying? He also admitted to drugging and then creating obscene material depicting 28 women without their knowledge or permission and drugging 2 other women, with some images depicting the predator groping and straddling his nude unconscious victims. I think he's creating scenarios. They won't be in my play, so I love Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I get them naked, I call them all Wayne Brady, and then I make them tag in and do shit. It's fun. It's safe to say he's a sexual predator. Judge Colleen Collar-Cotley said during her sentencing. Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty safe. It's like, I don't want to go on a limb here. This guy loves having sex with people who don't want it.
I thought Predator was just a CIA call sign.
I want to see that movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Sexual Predator. I want that movie so fucking great. She's like, you're gonna have a period of time to think about this. Kohler-Cotley slammed Raymond for his criminal acts and said he betrayed his government and his country. Yeah, he was a CIA agent. Raymond, a San Diego native, served over 20 years in the CIA while completing White House and congressional internships. According to court documents, Raymond was on assignment with the CIA in Mexico, Peru, and elsewhere between 2006 and 2020. The nature of his work was not disclosed during the investigation, which would include a full list of the countries where he assaulted women. He targeted women on dating apps or through his casual encounters while knowing some of his victims for nearly 20 years as platonic friends. During the period, the convicted sexual predator lured unsuspecting women to his government-leased house and drugged them. After drugging these women, he stripped, sexually abused, and photographed them. About a dozen of Raymond's victims, identified only by numbers in court, recounted the horrific damage the ex-CIA officer had caused in their lives during sentencing. Some of the women revealed that they only learned about being sexually assaulted after the FBI showed them the pictures. That's fucking crazy. Like, they didn't even know, and they're like, is this you? It's like, yeah, but I don't usually have my tits out. That's me.
What the fuck?
My body looks like a corpse on his bed, one lady said. Now I have these nightmares of seeing myself dead. Holy fuck. Dude, that's therapy like crazy. She lays on bed and some guy just starts dating because you look good. Like, why? Because I'm fucking dead? It's like, what are you talking about? My favorite part about you is that you're breathing. Another of his victims said she had a recurring trance that caused her to run red lights while driving. All right, fuck that lady. Okay, everyone else is bad, but that's the best way to get out of a speeding ticket of all times. Why did you run that light? I got molested by the CIA. It's like, okay.
They bring her in. They're like, she's crazy. They're like, no, actually, she's not. That actually did occur. It's been well documented.
I mean, it did occur, but they are two different things. Why are you doing all that cocaine? The CIA took a picture of my tits.
And then sold me this coke.
Oh my God. While suffering nervous breakdowns over Raymond taking advantage of them. I hope he is haunted by the consequences of his actions for the rest of his life. He definitely isn't. He just jerks off to it and such now. It's like, yeah, remember when I did all that weird shit? I'm a perv. That's what I do. Another of Raymond's victims said he appeared to be the perfect gentleman when she met him in Mexico in 2020. First of all, during COVID, you shouldn't be in Mexico having a good time with the CIA, but She recalled kissing Raymond, but soon after blacked out, only later discovering that he recorded 35 videos and close-up photos of her breasts and genitals. How long was he out for? Raymond, it must be short films. It can't be like full-on movies. Raymond's disturbing crimes.
48 hours.
That's a whole different TV show. Another 48 hours. The worst. Raymond's
catch her
disturbing
before that. I'm
crimes.
not even done taking pictures.
Yeah, go back to sleep. I got to make another movie. We're in scene 2. Raymond's disturbing crime first came to light in May 2020 after Mexico City police responded to calls about a naked woman screaming for help from the balconies of a CIA officer's apartment. The ex-CIA officer, who speaks Spanish and Mandarin, okay, whatever, bitch, told officers the situation with the, she's like, adios mio. We don't know which one you're saying.
Pick one of the
Told
two.
officers the situation with the woman and was consensual, but the next day he returned to the U.S. as the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown began ramping up. However, during this time, investigators were hot on his trail and obtained a warrant to search his phones. Raymond had attempted to delete all the photographs and videos with the victims after learning about the investigation, but investigators were able to recover over 500 images and videos of his crimes, according to documents. Investigators also found incriminating online search history for phrases such as Ambien and alcohol and pass out. And also vodka and Valium. Well, combing through his devices. Dude, his search rules. Well, he's not really smart for a CIA guy. He was arrested in San Diego in October 2020 and was held without bail in a D.C. jail for the past 4 years. During his sentencing hearing Wednesday, the former government worker apologized to his victims and said he took full responsibility for my unconscionable actions. It betrayed everything I stand for, and I know no apology will ever be enough. There are no words to describe how sorry I am. That's not who I am, and yet it's who I became. As part of his sentence, Raymond has been ordered to pay $10,000 to each of his 28 victims and will be required to register as a sex offender. The CIA has publicly condemned its former employees' horrific crimes. There is absolutely no excuse for Mr. Raymond's reprehensible, appalling behavior. As this case shows, we are committed to engaging with law enforcement. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it the CIA guy for drugging tons of women and making videos and keeping it on his phone and searching things like Ambien and alcohol and pass out? And then at the end going, hey, I'm sorry. I really shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry if I really offended you guys. Is it the women who said they didn't even know? Like the women that did know, okay, they woke up, it was horrific. Other women didn't even know. Then they saw the pictures and like, I must have been raped. You didn't even know you were raped. I'm not saying it's right that you shouldn't, but if you didn't know, and if someone said to me, hey, did you know last week I broke into your house and I slept on your couch for an hour? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Well, it's like, well, then I can't be like, oh, now I'm calling the cops. They did it. They did the thing. They broke in. They did it. I should say kudos to you. You did it within the amount of time you're given. Maybe not. Allegedly. Anyway, or how about the women that are like, hey, I can't run red lights anymore without thinking about getting fisted by this guy. Like, that shit's crazy. The effects are weird, and that's an odd thing. Is it the CIA? I thought you were supposed to be able to figure out who's working for you. I know we got some nutshots working in the CIA, but for 20 years, they were paying for this guy's house. They were paying for his travels. They were paying for his Ambien. He probably got free Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like, he's searching for all this shit, and he got to do that. Or is it Bill Cosby? Because Bill Cosby is still more famous than this guy. This guy seems like he's way worse because he was a CIA guy. Bill Cosby's just a piece of shit bad actor. He's supposed to rape. Who's the piece of shit? Madman, you go first.
I mean, the girl's pissing me off because that means when I get stopped now at a traffic stop, I could be like, my dad used to hit me with a fucking hammer when I was in fucking 10th grade. Yeah. I don't want the ticket. I don't deserve this ticket. The guy's going to tell me to go fuck myself. The CIA actually made more sense than I thought it would when you went that angle. But I got to go with the CIA agent for multiple reasons. One, just a complete
because he's a rapist.
He's a fucking rapist.
Yeah.
Right to the point. He should have go get fucking prostitutes. You're in the CIA fucking A. You're all over the world. You know where the cheapest fucking deals are. You know where you could go get these things. What do you got to fucking rape for? Like, I got to go to the CIA agent. The guy's just a fucking all-around piece of shit. Yeah. The CIA, though, should have been vetting this guy. Like you're saying, it's like this P. Diddy thing. We're going to find all these other assholes were involved in it. Everybody knew what the CIA guy was doing. Right. But fuck him, though. What a piece of shit.
Because he was probably really good at being a CIA guy.
He was probably great.
He's probably like really good at like finding shit. And that kind of mind can also like go, I
Yeah.
gotta make a play with a naked lady. Like, Bobby.
Yes, he's obviously a piece of shit. The guy.
Yeah, we're all gonna agree he's a piece of shit, but we're trying to also like have fun.
For me, the bigger piece of shit in the story would be the CIA and the FBI. Right? This is one CIA agent over a period of like 4 years, 14 years, doing all these crimes. And not only do we know all the details, who all was involved, but the poor women have seen pictures of themselves that they didn't know were took.
That's insane.
But we still don't have Epstein's fucking flight logs. We still don't know that shit. We could put all this out there about the CIA, but all these billionaires are just free to do whatever they want. That's why, in my book, they're the piece of shit.
I think the piece of shit is the CIA agents who had to contact the women and were like, hey, come on in. Come on in. We got to show you some stuff. They're like, what's this about? Oh, we can't tell you. So you're going in. You're not thinking it's anything like this. You're thinking like something happened bad in your family. Maybe you didn't pay something. You don't know what you're going through all this. Because they probably didn't say on the phone, hey, come on in. We got nudies of you. Come on. So they're like, they don't know what it is. They're fucking terrified. They come in and the guy's like, hey, listen, you remember so-and-so? And they're like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. I met him in New Mexico or whatever. It was a good time. Yeah. I guess he had a better time than you did because look at this. It's your pussy. Look how open your pussy is. It's a big picture. They're like, is that a Polaroid? Yeah, it was a long time ago. He didn't even have like a phone yet. He had to wait for he shook it in front of you. And then he was like, this looks like you. And he put them up and he hung them on the walls and stuff. And then he had strings attached because that's what we do. We're the CIA. So we get strings and then we get like thumbtacks and we put it. And in the middle is him going, because he would just like eat all you guys out. You cool with that? You guys okay? Because he'll give you $10,000 to shut the fuck up. And it's like, $10,000? Did I win the Ed McMahon sweepstakes? Why am I getting $10,000 for this? I should get more than that, right? Like, yeah, you should, but we're the CIA. And guess what? I'm in the CIA, and I'm probably going to molest you next. Good night. And then she passed out. It's like, oh, no. So it's probably the CIA guys.
You were way nicer with how you thought it went than how I thought it went. I thought they pulled the girl in and they were like, tell us the truth. Have you ever been SA'd? And she was like, no. And then they just slammed the picture down. Oh, yeah. What do you say about this? You're the criminal. You sexually assaulted. I don't know if we're allowed to say it on YouTube. But like you've been now you're the victim. You've perjured yourself. You're going to prison.
Yeah.
Better hope that 28,000 comes quick for bond.
I thought you were saying because they were in Mexico City, you have been essayed, like attacked by essays. And I was like, that's so fun. I've never heard that as the term when Mexican people fuck with you. They essayed my fucking convenience store the other day. All these essays came in. That was nice.
That might be a fun new term.
It might be fun. Bobby, you got another one?
I do. Let me pull it up real quick.
You're a little low to me, Bobby.
Oh, okay, I can crank it.
I think it's just because you're so soothing.
Yeah.
I feel so relaxed once Bobby started talking. I was like, holy shit, this
yeah.
is a nice vibe here.
It was nice. And next thing I knew, I woke up and there was pictures of me naked.
And
I'm like, God damn it, Bobby.
And then you were charged, right? You willingly knew what happened.
Send that check, bud. That's all I care about. I want that $10,000.
What's interesting about these two stories, Pat, is yours was about women who didn't know that they were involved in a sexual encounter, and mine is about a woman who's claiming to have been involved in a sexual encounter, but the man's denying it. This is called Diesel Denies Cummings. Let me tell you about a tale where love, or rather the suggestion of love,
if you will,
means social media.
Pitch for this.
Not quite yet. I think he literally says imagine this later in the article. So let me tell you about a tale where love, or rather the suggestion of love, meets social media. And Shaquille O'Neal finds himself at the center of a mystery as wild as it is hilarious. Oh, no. So the internet blew up when Maria Azuno Ticci posted a picture on Instagram that had everybody clutching their phones. In this picture, she's being hugged from behind by a towering figure. Who is this mystery man, you ask? Well, judging by the enormous hands wrapped around her, and the fact that most NBA players aren't 7'1" with hands the size of dinner plates, fans immediately pointed the finger at Shaq. I mean, who else could it be? Is there a giant roaming the streets we don't know about? The plot thickened when Ticci captioned the image with unapologetically us. Can y'all guess whose feet? Oh, the internet had plenty of guesses, many settling on Big Diesel himself, Shaq. You know what they say comes with big feet? An inability to make free throws or win a championship without a secondary
Ew.
superstar. But here's where things get fun. Shaq, in all of his 7-foot glory, came out swinging with jokes. He took to Instagram and essentially said, nope, not the kid. Which, let's be honest, is exactly what someone trying to dodge a romance rumor would say. But Shaq didn't stop there. He posted several pictures of himself with different women, captioning them, "Is this my girlfriend too?" Shaq was handling the situation the only way Shaq can, by turning it into an opportunity for corny comedy. He even joked, "My woman's name is Shakira," which, let's face it, sounds more like an alter ego than a real person. But when it comes to Shakira, I know those hips don't lie. Meanwhile, Teachy wasn't about to let Shaq off the hook that easily. She fired back, implying that Shaq was in fact the mystery man that he was lying to everyone. In a since-deleted comment, she cryptically stated, "A time we had," adding the hashtags GOATworthy and play with somebody else. The shade. That's a level of vague that makes horoscopes look specific. This may be a bad move by Teachy, though, because Shaq is quite good at finding the D-Wade to replace his Kobe Bryant. Teachy wasn't done. She decided to really drive her point home by posting a piece of paper that had Diesel written on it, as well as a supposed backstage pass from one of Shaq's DJ gigs at a club in Atlantic City. She even posted footage of a man who looked suspiciously like Shaq napping on a couch. Now, is it Shaq? Maybe. But that's far from a smoking gun. You know, like a pic of her smoking on his gun. To put a cherry on top of this social media Sunday, Shaq continued his streak of denials, this time with a hilarious twist. I would argue that. He posted a video of himself singing the song "It Wasn't Me" by Shaggy, except Shaq didn't know the words, which makes it much funnier in the author's opinion. Imagine a 7'1" NBA Hall of Famer fumbling through the words to deny he was cuddling a woman on Instagram. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Shaq? You hooked up with a hot chick. Nobody's mad. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to deny it. You don't have to be... That said, he kind of took the funny, like, yes, tongue-in-cheek, it was probably me approach, but who knows? Is it Teachy? You got to hook up with a celebrity. Part of the responsibility there is if the celebrity wants it to be private, you keep it private, right? We've all hooked up with girls who the girls didn't want people to know we were hooking up with them. You respect that decision, you move on.
Wait, what happened?
What?
We've all hooked up with women that we don't want people to know about?
Or vice versa is how I was saying, where the women are like, do not tell anybody we're doing this. I do not want the world to know.
That happened to you? You better shut the fuck up. People can't know your dick was near me, dude.
Oh, yeah. You know, it makes you feel real good on the inside.
Yeah, you got to feel awesome. Thanks for the self-esteem, stupid.
Is it her for that? Now, in this instance, the difference is the reason he doesn't is because he's a celebrity. It has nothing to do with her attractiveness. Or is it the internet? Like, this girl clearly posted something that was supposed to create attention for herself by being like, can you guess who this picture of obviously Shaq is? Don't play into it. Like, all you did is feed this girl's ego. You fed Shaq's ego. I wouldn't be surprised if Shaq didn't put this whole thing together now that Inside the NBA is done and he doesn't have a job.
I don't think that's the reason.
Madman, we'll start with you. Who's your piece of shit?
I wanted to say the internet, but I got to go Shaq. And it's not even from the story. It's because that shitty movie fucking Steel. Like, I was a fucking young guy and I was waiting for a new Superman movie. And it's this fucking moron in this Steel. The movie sucked. The Genie movie sucked. And I always wanted him to have more rings than Kobe. I really fucking did. Don't ask me why. And you fucked that up too. So fuck Shaq. It's Shaq. Fuck him. I
want to disagree with you just for the sake of the pod, but all those points, very, very solid. Specifically the Shazam movie. Pat, who's your piece of shit?
It's not the woman. What's her name? She when she can't help it. She got the hookup with Shaq, and she wants everyone to know. Listen, Shaq, he can say what he wants. Unless he had her sign a fucking waiver or an agreement to not talk about it. You fucked a woman. You can talk about your sex all you want. And, you know, if you don't want that to happen, don't fuck some lady that's yapping. She's a yapping lady. Don't fuck her. Shaq can have any woman he wants. He doesn't. If he wants to have that one woman, especially him being larger than life for real, like literally and figuratively, people are going to talk about that shit. But it's also not Shaq for being like, being fun with it. That's what Shaq does with everything. Shaq always makes light and jokes. That's his charm. I mean, to think about how likable Shaq is, and then think about how large Shaq is. Do you know how charming you have to be for people to think of you as a fun person when you're the largest thing most people have ever seen in their lives that's not an elephant? Like, it's insane how charming you have to be. So it's not them at all. It's anyone that guessed. Okay, what are we doing in life where they on the Instagram, it's like, guess who this is? And some guy goes, is that Will Chamberlain? He's like, no, it's not. He's like, oh, it's RuPaul. What do I win? $10,000 for the CIA? Like, no, they're not giving it to everybody. What are we doing guessing? I know what I would write. Guess what? I go, I don't know. What's the worst word ever? N. Yeah, some N that bangs in the A because you're an R. So F. Like, well, you should guess what those mean and you win. It's anyone who gave a shit. I don't care who people fuck. Go have your sex. Who cares? The fact that she was like, guess who fucks me? I don't know. Any NBA player because you look like a stupid whore.
For me, I could not agree with you more. Anybody you guessed is an absolute piece of shit. Unless if they were being funny with it. Like, bad news, babe. I think that's Magic Johnson. And you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, uh-oh.
That could have been funny. But
I think it's Michael Clark Duncan now, and he's dead.
For me, the piece of shit's Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins?
Wow.
Yeah, just come out and be like, that's me. Just completely take credit for it. Steal the thunder. You couldn't do it during your playing career because you never amounted to what you were supposed to be. So here's your opportunity to be like Shaq.
Well, then he was. Wait. What color is the lady?
I believe she's many races mixed together.
Because if she has any white in her, then it wasn't Kendrick Perkins. He hates white people.
That is a good point, too. Shaq does love them.
Ask him about JJ Redick. He hates it.
I'd hate somebody who... It's kind of like that scene in Rudy where they yell at the third-string quarterback because he never tried. If I was Kendrick Perkins and I never tried, I'd hate to see the guy who had no business being in the NBA having, carried a few teams.
Yeah, I'd be a little mad with that too. All right, final story. Sebastian Stan, you know him, the actor from like the Marvel movies and shit like that, calls out reporter for describing co-star Adam Pearson as a beast over facial disfigurement. Sebastian Stan called out a reporter for commenting on his co-star Adam Pearson's facial disfigurement. Now, have you ever seen Adam Pearson? I didn't pull a picture up. Bobby, if you want to Google it, you can. This guy's face sucks, but like, still, we shouldn't say that, but it's tough. Adam and then Pete, like Pear and then son. While the actors were promoting A Different Man at the Berlin Film Festival in February, a journalist asked, what do you think happens after the transformation from this so-called beast, as they call him, to this perfect man? Stan, 42, quickly decided to call out the journalist a bit for his choice of words during the panel in a video that resurfaced this week. There's a lot of pictures of this guy being ugly as fuck. I think part of why the film is important is because we often don't have maybe even the right vocabulary. I think it's a little more complex than that. And obviously there are language barriers and so on, but beast isn't a word, I think. And he's like, obviously, I said it already. In the movie, Stan's character, Edward, becomes fixated on Pearson's character, Oswald, who plays Edward in a stage production of his former life. Pearson with, neurofibromatosis, supercalifragilistic, which is characterized by benign tumors growing in the nervous system, both in the psychological thriller and real life. During his clapback, Stan slammed the public's preconceived idea about the condition. We're not really educated on how to really understand this experience, so I can't really speak, yada yada. Don't call him gross. He's not gross. He's just a weirdo. I don't know, whatever. Who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Sebastian Stan for going, hey, don't call him that name. Don't call him names. He's a regular person, even though I'm in a movie with a disfigured person about a disfigured person. And the only reason why he got the role is because it's about him, because no one's grosser than the actual guy. So don't call him names. But he didn't say, wait, which actor are you speaking about? How would I know? Everyone looks the same to me. He knew right away. They were talking about Adam Pearson, his stupid boiled face. Is it Adam Pearson for having a stupid boiled face and going, hey, make a movie about me and put me in it? It's like, all right, man. Rocky Dennis didn't put himself in it. He didn't do it. Eric Roberts played that guy in Mask. Sometimes you let an actor do it. I get it. We're not supposed to have actors pretend to have shit, but this guy's probably not a good actor. I'm guessing he hasn't talked to a lot of people in his life. He's got eggplants growing off the side of his goddamn head. He's not really somebody who's charming like Shaquille O'Neal. Is it the guy who said, "Hey, that's a beast"? That's nicer than all the other shit they could have said. Beast is tough, but like he's talking about the movie part and the transformation from becoming the beast to a man. Why can't he say that? Beauty and the Beast, they never were like, Gaston was never like, "Hey, shut the fuck up. Don't call him a beast. All right? He's just a hairy guy that fucking has a castle sometimes and stuff." Who's the piece of shit? Bobby, go first.
For me, I have no issue with him stepping in and trying to defend his co-star.
Sebastian Stan, you mean?
Yeah, stepping in to be like, "Hey, come on, don't call him that." That said, it is kind of removing the power from that individual to be like, "Hey, as the healthy-looking guy, I have to speak up for this deformed idiot." You know what I mean? It's almost
he white
like
womened it up.
it's an extra level of sensitiveness. Also, could they have just been calling him a beast because he was jacked? That
No,
would have been my defense.
he's not jacked.
No, I see the picture. I know that's not why they said it, but that would have been my argument. So for me, it is Sebastian. I know he was trying to do the right thing, but in doing so, I think he actually did the wrong thing.
Yeah, Batman.
It's the guy with the fucking eggplants on his head, okay? Like, you can't go out in public and make fucking movies like that.
Right.
You're asking for it. Like, if I see a guy that looks like that, maybe I won't say it to his face, right? I'll do it behind his fucking back. We'll all fucking chuckle about it. But if you're going to put yourself out in public, too, expect that shit to happen. I fucking twerk in videos because I want to fuck metal moms. I know people are going to come at me when I do it. It is what it fucking is, you know?
Right. And here's the thing. You're putting yourself out there because you're gross. And then people are like, you're gross. And it's like, hey, be nice. Well, I wouldn't know who you are unless you were gross. Gross is your superpower.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 600-pound fat lady. Like when they're on TV and they're like, I'm fucking big fat lady. Look how fat I'm so fat. They're going to put my weight in the title of the show because it's so gross. You're not going to watch. You would not watch Jill whatever's like Big Day Out. You're like, I don't give a fuck. 600-pound piece of shit. I'm in. You know what I mean? Midgets. You're like, yeah. You're just like, oh, there's Phil. It's like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? So it's like, you're already gross. You got braille for a face. Yep. Nobody fucking cares. So you're going to do that and then get mad? Well, he didn't get mad. It's the fucking handsome man, Sebastian Stan, that's like, hey, I wouldn't use those words. That's not nice at all. Hey, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
You're only in that movie. You were in Civil War. You're Bucky. You weren't even that great in that. You're just handsome. They keep trying to make more Disney shit and it's not working. You and the black guy Falcon aren't doing a good job. You're not really filling in. Disney had to go to women because you guys suck so bad. And they ruined everything. It's basically because those two can't act. And now you're in a movie that sounds like The Mask too, but it's not. It's just some other thing with you and the ugly guy. And you're like defending him. You're not even the best guy in that movie. Like you're defending the guy that people are going to go see. Like they might need you to do more of the acting, but they're going to see the guy who has tits growing out of his ears. They don't want to see that. That's it. So yeah, no, the piece of shit in this story is not Sebastian Stan. And it's not the guy who asked the question. It's not bubbly face guy. It's anyone who's in the audience of the fucking Comic-Con going, oh, good. It's the deformed guy in Sebastian Stan. Let's go there. I don't want to go see Doctor Doom revealed. Let's go watch Braille Face and Captain America Jr. answer questions.
You're not wrong.
No.
Yeah, I'm right. Now, next week, we're going to have that guy with the boils on his face as our guest. I just hit him up. He's going to be no beast questions.
I was going to say, I might have to leave so that way it could be Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, man. All right. Man, dude. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah.
You're fun. Why don't you tell people where they can follow you? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Pat. But I just want to say seriously, both of you, funniest motherfuckers ever. Seen you guys live. I'm so
Dude, thanks for coming out. It was really cool seeing you and meeting you and everything. It was awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. MetalHorrorMadman. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. I got a ton of followers on there. I just launched
He's got a super fun Instagram. You want to watch a guy having a good fucking time in life, go follow this motherfucker.
Oh, thank you so much. And that's all I do, man. That's what it's about. You'll see crazy shit. You'll see me screaming. You'll see me dancing. I just launched a podcast, Metal Horror Madness. Fucking love it. Just love to have fun. Love everything metal, horror, and comedy, clearly. My account's really a comedy account when you break it down, right? I love this shit. I live for it. But I just like to live my life and have fun. And I mean, thank you both for having me on here. I know I got to shut the fuck up where I keep saying that.
No, you're
but
doing
I just
great, man.
appreciate
You're
it.
fine.
Thank you.
Listen,
Thank you so much.
It's very rare on our show that people actually like us, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, we were happy to have the one.
I fucking love you guys. My
You're
whole
the
family
best,
that
man. We
night,
love you too, bro.
we were
You're the
laughing
best.
our fucking balls off. We were talking about your jokes, man. It was so fucking funny. I try and tell people all the time, come out and see you fucking guys. They don't know what they're missing. Old school comedy with that new school delivery. Doesn't give a shit what these guys say. And I can tell you guys love what you do too. That's what I love so much about it.
We do, and you love what you do, so it was fun to have you on, man. We'll definitely have you back on again. It's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Bobby, what do you want to promote?
November 23rd, Laughing Stock Comedy Club. Please come out. It is in Harrisburg/Hershey. It'll be a lot of fun.
Nice. Like and subscribe, everybody, if you can. If you want any of my dates and my shows, just hit me up on any social media shit. Make sure you get over on the Patreon if you can. POS Podcast on Patreon. And share this video. Like, that's all we ask people to do, like, so they can say, what are you watching at fucking 3:30 for no reason? Us 3 fucks. And at the end, if you have a comment on what you think the order of worst words ever are, N, F, R, and C, put it in the comments and then tag Bobby the entire time. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. Bobby, if you want to get us out of here.
Yeah, if you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.
Oh, no. I hit the wrong thing. Do it again, Bobby.
If you can't
We're
join
still going to
them.
be here. I'm supposed to be playing a song, and I hit the wrong picture thing.
Well,
Our
if
dumb
you
little
can't
song.
play the
Yeah,
song,
do it.
beat them, and don't be a piece.
POS show yo. Show yo. Show yo. POS show yo. Show yo. Show yo.